have a funny relationship with eclipses, just personally. The tradition in astrology is to make a big fuss out of eclipses, especially solar eclipses. I've often been through eclipses that hit really sensitive points in my chart and didn't seem to do very much. I've had a couple of rather spectacular things, but often other things are going on astrologically at the same time. So in everything I teach, it has to pass the personal test of working for me. If it doesn't work for me, I'm not going to project it onto other people. Maybe I'm just weird about eclipses and have some kind of strange immunity. I don't know. I'm open to possibilities there. But basically, I think of an eclipse. I'm going to focus on solar eclipses because they're more important. I think of an eclipse as a new moon. Of course, it is a new moon. The sun and moon are conjunct. They're also conjunct in declination. So the center of the moon and the center of the sun are lined up. Every month we come close, but they kind of go like this. One passes over the other. And yet here we would find the center to center conjunction. So it's kind of a supercharged new moon. Dare I say, a new beginning? You know, there it is. We could put that phrase in every question, probably. It is a new beginning. The notion, when we think actively of participating with a solar eclipse, it's the familiar idea that for something new to be born, something has to die. And so we have the time leading up to the eclipse, which is a time of meditation, of thinking what we need to release. Something is ready to die in our lives. And then we have the actual eclipse, and then we can set an intention. The magic is with us, the force is with us. It's an excellent time to try to establish a new habit. And in order for that to happen, perhaps an old habit that you realize isn't helping you needs to stop having its hold upon you. So we set intentions. The nature of the intentions, the understanding of what must die and what must replace it will derive from where the eclipse lies in your chart. Very simply, if the eclipse falls on your fourth house cusp, what is it about your home, your house, or your family that isn't working for you? If it falls on your Venus, what about your creativity? What about your intimate life has to die so something new can be born? In other words, we apply the basic astrological principles to understand this seed that is beginning to blossom in you. So release, the establishment of new habit, and then the follow through so the habit sinks in. We have, again, the wind in our sails at such a time as far as change goes. Now, this is solar eclipses in general. I do take them more seriously than lunar eclipses. They're a lot more unusual. It gets into some astronomy. The size of the Earth's shadow cast on the moon is much bigger, so the odds are longer you're going to get some kind of lunar eclipse. They'll be associated with new moons, with solar eclipses often, but they're just a lot more common. Pressing this right into the nodal territory. First, eclipses, solar eclipses, as I was saying, we've got to have that declination alignment as well as the conjunction along the zodiac. And so the effect is that whenever we have a solar eclipse, the nodes of the moon are involved. That's what guarantees that we're in that center to center situation. So always there will be some kind of karmic dimension to a solar eclipse. Next step with the reasoning here, a bit of a question about the difference between a solar eclipse on the south node and one on the north node. There's not a whole lot of difference, really. That sounds a bit counterintuitive, but if you think about it, I think the reason becomes clear very quickly. And it is that if you have an eclipse on your south node, it is happening in opposition to your north node. If it's on your north node in opposition to your south node. So in either case, both the south and the north are stimulated by the eclipse. So it would be wrong to overdo the difference between them. Maybe a little more weight on the south node of the karmic past surfacing, maybe a little bit more weight on the opportunity to break some patterns with the north node. But I would really like to not overdo that. I think that might be such a subtle nuance that it wouldn't be particularly meaningful to a client. So the final step would be looking at the nodes. And so your south node is habitual. It's got you in its grips. Maybe you've begun to become conscious of that. And so you can break some of its hold, understanding the nature of the thing to which you are attached, and understanding the nature of the remedy through the north node. If you have for example, a Libra south node and thus an Aries north node, and an eclipse occurs either end of that axis, we will find an increased alertness to the idea that I may be too conciliatory. I may smile when I'm not happy in order to guard rapport with another person, wouldn't want them to know I was unhappy, wouldn't want them to know I was angry or upset. This would be the grips of a Libra south node. And then the Aries north node, it's like, it's not about being mean, but it's about being direct, being honest, assert yourself. And right around that eclipse, because of synchronicity, you'll have opportunities to do that. You'll be like as uncertain as a tossed coin around that eclipse. Will you reenact the old Libra trap, or will you move in the Aries direction? If you move in the Aries direction, even in a trivial way, right around that solar eclipse, that establishes habit. And so there is a sense of breakthrough, of affirmation that I'm leaving the past behind and I am moving towards this new future. It takes around around any new moon, but particularly around a solar eclipse. So I hope that wasn't too long-winded an answer, but that's how it would work.